31-year-old Chicago native Jeremy Helsch was on his way to a glamorous career in the music industry, working at Sony Music and Columbia Records in the States. He stunned colleagues a few years ago when he announced that he was moving to Israel to make Israeli musicians famous worldwide. I'd like to welcome in studio with us today, Jeremy. Hey, Jeremy. Thank you so much for joining us.
Great to be here.
Please take a seat. So, job at Columbia Records and Sony. You threw it all away to come to Israel. Are you crazy?
Well, yeah, I guess anyone who moves to Israel's got to be a little bit crazy, right?
Slightly, for sure.
Yeah, well, there's your answer, I guess, right?
You're slightly crazy.
Crazy.
Has it worked out for you? How's this?
Look, Israel's not an easy place to live. What I'm doing right now is incredible because we are inspiring the entire music community and musician community and doing some amazing things, nurturing hundreds of youth musicians and getting them abroad, getting them on the radar of big labels, getting them in CNN and BBC and Rolling Stone and MTV, and so it has worked out, yeah.
And this is off of your own record label that you've started here?
This is off of Ole Records. I'm the architect and the founder of Ole Records. It's a non-for-profit organization, actually.
Awesome, okay.
Our goal is to support the music industry here. We're sort of like Israel's music export organization.
Fantastic. And do you represent anyone that our audience would know?
Possibly. It depends. You know, there's a billion artists out there. The artists that we represent cover multiple genres of music. So we have a hip-hop act called Cooloosh. We have a punk pop act called Useless ID, Carolina Reggae, Amiram Inc. He's sort of like a singer-songwriter. We support artists directly, and we also support artists that we're not directly affiliated with. Right. Our goal is really to see that everyone succeeds abroad. And
how are you helping these Israeli artists take that first step to get abroad?
That's a good question. Basically, we do a lot of artist development. Musicians are musicians. They don't really understand how to create a sustainable model or living model, and they don't understand how the international music industry works. Right. And we do. And so the most basic asset that we provide to them is knowledge. The other one is access to key people in the industry, decision makers. And then we provide them a whole slew of other amenities such as distribution, promotion, tour marketing,
so you just help them.
We do everything and anything that we can to get them to the next level.
And you said you're a non-profit organization. Yeah. Where do you get the funding? How's that been working out for you guys?
So I launched Ole about 4 years ago with maybe $5 in my pocket. And you know, I met a lot of interesting people along the way. I'm a fellow of a program that the Schusterman Foundation started called ROI. And through ROI, I met a lot of other individuals and philanthropists. And slowly, people started to hear about what I want to do. And I got people on board very early on with small sums of money. And those foundations and philanthropists have really supported us. Now, we still are a shoestring non-for-profit. But we're doing huge things with very little.
Fantastic. Yeah. And any crazy, wild stories from some of the clients that you've represented?
From the artist side, yeah, there's 100 crazy, wild stories, but I'm not going to tell them to you on on television.
Give me just one, something juicy to take home with me.
We had an artist once that didn't do the right thing. This was an Ole artist. This was an artist that we tried to help get out of some trouble. That he decided to go on tour and he didn't have the right papers, artist visas, and he ended up getting caught. And
oh my God.
There was the police involved and immigration. Yeah, it was a nightmare.
And any future acts, anyone we should look out for?
Yeah, actually, this year, 2010, is going to be a huge year for us. We already have confirmations of artists touring in Australia, in South America for the first time.
Fantastic.
We have a whole bunch of artists performing in the U.S. In the springtime at South by Southwest, showcasing. We also advise a lot of music conferences on which artists we think would make sense for them. Our goal is to sort of connect the two sides and make it less expensive and more frequent for Israeli artists to break out abroad and tour, because that's really how you develop yourself as a musician. You can't just sit at home or sit in a bar in Tel Aviv. You have to be out there. Yeah.
Fantastic. Yeah. Well, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
And for everyone at home, you can catch more of Jeremy's artists on his MySpace page. And it's been an absolute pleasure. Thank you so much.